Hi, welcome to Data Appreciation with Shino, and we'll be doing a series of code labs, and this is the first one on natural language. So this is using natural language API with Python. So the natural language API lets you extract information from unstructured text using Google machine learning. In this tutorial, we'll focus on using Python client library. So what we'll learn is how to set up an environment, how to perform sentiment analysis, how to perform entity analysis, how to perform syntax analysis, how to perform context classification, how to perform text moderation. So what we need is a Google Cloud project, a browser such as Chrome, which we're in, or Firefox, and a bit of familiarity with Python. Now, this survey is one I've noticed recently. So we'll see how to use this tutorial. We'll be reading through it and completing exercises. How would we rate our experience? So let's just pick the novice option. Then how would you rate your experience with Google Cloud Services? Novice, intermediate, proficient. So let's put intermediate. So let's go to the next. Now, setup and requirements. For the self-paced environment setup, we have to sign into our Google Cloud Console, which we already have. We have to create a new project or reduce an existing one. So we're reusing an existing one, which we already have for Codelabs. And if we don't have one, we have to have a Gmail or Workspace account, and we'll create one. So here we notice where you have the project. When you click on new project, you have this dialog box that will come up where you have the project name and project ID. So these are things you will note. The project name is the display name for the project which you have here, and it's a character string not used by Google APIs. We can always update it. Then the project ID is a unique ID that's across all Google Cloud projects and is immutable. That means it cannot be changed after it has been set. So the Cloud Console to generate a unique string, usually we don't always care what it is, but in most code labs, we need to reference our project ID, usually identified as project underscore ID, whatever it is. So if you don't like this generated ID, you might generate another random one. Alternatively, you can try your own. So at the point of creating your project, you have the option to edit your project ID. So note that it cannot be changed after this step and it remains for duration of project. Now, for more information on the third value, which is the project number, which some APIs use, we'll learn more about that in the documentation. So this is here in the Google documentation. Now, there's a caution. A project ID is usually unique. It's globally unique and can be used by anyone else after you select it. You are the only user of that ID. Even if the project is deleted, the ID cannot be used again. Note if you use a Gmail account, you can leave the default location set to no organization. If you use a Google Workspace account, you can choose location that makes sense for your organization. Next, we need to enable billing. So on the project I'm using, I have billing already enabled. So in the Cloud Console, that's we have to need to enable billing in the Cloud Console to use cloud resources and APIs. So running through this code lab won't cost much, and we have new Google users eligible to the 300 trial for those who are new to the Google Cloud Shell. So I've exhausted mine, so that's not applicable to me for now. Now we'll go to the Google Cloud. We'll start the Cloud Shell, and while using Cloud Shell, the command line environment. So remember, the Cloud Shell is a command line environment running in the cloud. So let's go to Cloud Shell. So here's documentation on the Cloud Shell. So we actually need to go to Cloud Console first. Then we'll go into the Cloud Shell. So here's our documentation. So let's just new tab. So while that's coming up, let's read other. To activate the Cloud Shell on our project, so we have to continue and authorize. Waiting for it to pop up. So once our Cloud Shell comes up, we would run this first, confirm that we're authenticated. So it's coming up. Okay, so let's go. So once we run the authorization list, this something like this will come up. So once it's ready, this we hope to activate it here. Let's activate our Cloud Shell. We always see it as the greater than with the underscore. So let's copy this first of all, or we type it in gcloud space auth list. Remember earlier we talked about the project name, project number, and project ID. So Cloud Shell is coming up to request we authorize it, and we're going to authorize it. So while we're waiting, note that the gcloud command line tool is powerful and unified command line tool in Google Cloud. It comes pre-installed in Cloud Shell, and you notice support for tab completion. You'll be prompted to dedicate for the first time running command. So for more information, we can see it here on the gcloud command view, command line tool overview. So Cloud Shell is coming up. So after this first authorization, we'll have to run another, which is following command in Cloud Shell to confirm that gcloud knows about our project. So here is where we authorize. So I think this is something new from the Google team, authorizing. So this is something new. So this is days April 8th. So I think this wasn't available on April 7th, April 6th, 2026. So this is something new from the Google team. So manage your infrastructure. So I think let me just increase this a bit if we can. So manage your infrastructure and develop applications from any browser with Cloud Shell. Cloud Shell comes with ATK Cloud, Cloud Code, an online code editor and other utilities pre-installed, fully authenticated and up to date. Okay, so this is something new from them. Let me just have a screenshot of it. So we say agree, we say start Cloud Shell. I think I saw that in the prompt earlier, so it's a good one. So now we authorize. So so waiting for this to come up. I don't know why we have this, but let's see what this is asking for. Oh, sorry, I think I mistakenly switched to a slower network. Okay, so verification has been completed. So now we're in, and let's have the first. Let's copy this. Confirm we're authenticated. Seems to be something. Let's refresh this. I think there was. So let's see if. Okay, so we're in. So let's see. So we can see the active account. So the next prompt we're putting in is the gcloud config list project. So let's see if our project. Remember, our project is my first project. My project Codelab 01. So sorry, let's get the proper. Okay, so it's a seen our project. That's my project Codelab 01. So it recognizes our project. So next, so we wouldn't need to set our project since it's recognized. So set up application. So we're not running it outside Cloud Shell. So let's continue. Next, before we can begin using the natural language API, we need to run the following command to enable this API. So we want to enable the language Google APIs. So let's go and enable it. So gcloud services enable language APIs. So it's going to give us a bit of moment and tell us it has done it successfully. So we can see right here it has finished successfully. So next, you can see it here. As I said earlier, it's finished successfully. So next we can use the natural language API. So now we will navigate to our home directory. So change directory out. I think we're in a home directory now. So next we're going to create a character environment to isolate the dependencies. So using them. So you can see here added packages pip26 activators, best activators, shell, fish, not shell, and the others. So the next thing we'll do to activate the virtual environment, you can see it right here now. You can see it in front here, virtual environment language. So it's just activated it. So to stop using virtual environment, to go back to this system Python version, we can use the deactivate command. So we did activate, so we can use the activate right in front here. We'll place deactivate in front of activate. So that should work for us. So next we're going to install Python and pandas and the natural language API client library. So let's go ahead to do that on our shell. So right now we're installing our Python pandas Google language. Installing the packages. So it's completed installing packages in our virtual environment. So we've seen this already run. So now we're ready to use natural language API client library. So in next steps, we'll use an interactive Python, which is IPython interpreter called IPython, which is installed in the previous step. We'll start session by running IPython with cluster. So when you run things like this, like say are calling it out, so we're calling out IPython. So we can see Python main type copyright credits IPython 9.120 and enhanced interactive Python type the question mark for help. Tip, you can find out how to type Unicode symbol by completing it. You expand Roman numeral 8. So let's see the next. So if we need, we can quit IPython session with the exit command. Now, sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis inspects given text and identifies the prevailing emotional opinions within the text, especially. So now we're running in our IPython session now. So what we want to do is to do sentiment analysis, either as positive, negative, or neutral, both at the sentence and document levels. It is performed within the analyze sentiment method, which returns an analyze sentiment response. So here it is, we have the sentiment, analyze sentiment, analyze sentiment response here too. So we'll copy the following code to our IPython session. So let's go. So we'll copy the code into our IPython session. Let's The next do is to okay, so we've copied it in. Next, we're going to perform an analysis, which will give us this output. So we use Ctrl Enter. So this was what we gave it, our input. So Python is a very readable language, which makes it easy to understand and maintain code. It's simple. So we're running Python within our Cloud Shell, and we're giving it this to run analysis. So set analyze sentiment response is equal to analyze text sentiment. To show the text sentiment, analyze sentiment response. So at the sentence level, this is what we have. We have a score for each sentence. Then we now have at document level, we have a score, magnitude, and language. So which is something like this already. So if you get a permission denied error, type exit. So we didn't get that to return the setup. So let's take a moment to test our own sentences. So I can test my own sentences. So let's see my own sentences. So let's just get a sentence test. This so let's say sentences to test sentiment analysis. So we have some from positive sentiment analysis. So let's see. Let's copy this ones. See how to give us. So let's say we have autocomplete text equals to that. Then our next line, we drop our sentence and let's copy this. So let's run this and see. Oh, sorry. I think I made a mistake. We didn't drop the closing parenthesis. So that's a sensitive thing you have to remember about the closing parenthesis. So let's go and drop our closing parenthesis. I noticed the way it looked, but I was trying to see where the problem. Let's drop our closing parenthesis. So where we have to drop the closing parenthesis. Let's see. Let's drop it on this line. Okay. So I think now we can run unexpected error. L3 line 6. One, two, three, four, five, six. Oh, okay, so I know where the problem is. So just copy this. So, so basically, um, as I would say, you always need to have a knowledge of Python indentation, and I think that's why I'm having a challenge here. I'm just remove some of this. I was trying to do. Let's just place it on different lines so we have them properly structured. So next we'll have to do the okay, so just one more line. So almost done, so we can run it again. This time we have no issues. Yeah, we're almost done with it. So I think we should have a better go at it this time. One indent does not match any other indentation level. Right. Also, this have to do with indentation, and I need to come up. So let's just continue and Let's read up what we have here. So the score of sentiment ranges from -1 negative to +1 positive and corresponds to the overall sentiment. The magnitude of sentiment ranges from 0 to infinity and indicates the overall strength of sentiment in a given information. So the information provided, the higher the magnitude. For more information on how to interpret score and magnitude sentiment values, they're included here. So there's a documentation on it here. So each API response returns document automatically detected in this ISO 631. It is shown here and will be skipped in the next analysis examples. So entity analysis inspects the given text for known entities, proper nouns, public figures, landmarks, and returns information about those entities. It's performed with the analyze entities method, which returns the analyze entities response. So let's copy the following code to our IPython session. So we go back to, let's come back here. So let's put this in, run it. So remember it's running on the cloud, so it's extra fast, not running on a local device. So these are inputs for analysis. So let's copy this to analyze this. So we can get an output like this. So let's put this in. The input says Gordon Barroson, best known for the creator of Python, which he named after the Monty Python comedy troupe. He was born in Harlem, Netherlands. So we're going to get the nouns and others because we're doing an entity. So let's run it. So now we're seeing the name, type, salience, meet, and Wikipedia URL. So let's come here. So you can see it's something similar has come up here. So take a moment to test your own sentences. So you can do that on your own. So we don't take time on this code lab. So for more information on which languages are supported, so you can see here for languages supported. And remember the type of entity is an enum that lets you classify different entities. So let's check what Google says about this. Type of entity is an enum. Let's search Google. So using an enum, that's an enumerator type to define the type of an entity, is a fundamental software engineering practice used to classify, differentiate, and categorize data objects within a system. It enforces type safety, restricting a variable to a fixed, predefined set of constraints, such as pending, shift, delivered for another status. So that's for those who are doing data analysis and data science. You see this a lot under the results for other status. So let's go back to our code lab. So, for example, this can help to produce similar entities. T.E. Lawrence, that's a person from Lawrence of Arabia, the fame tagged as a work of art. The entity type. So let's open this down and see what documentation talks about entity type. So we have the class type 2.2 type value. Okay, so let's continue. So the entity salience indicates the importance or relevance of this entity to the entire document type. So this score can assist information retrieval and summarization by prioritizing salient entities. Scores closer to 0 are less important, while scores close to 1 are highly important. So entity type, entity analysis. So just keep this on the side. So you can also combine both entity analysis and sentiment analysis with the analyze entity sentiment. So entity sentiment analysis, I think that's somewhere here. Okay, so we don't have it here. Let's open this down. Let's see what it says. So entity sentiment analysis. Okay. So let's back to our code lab. So in this step, we're able to perform entity analysis. So we did that. Now, syntax analysis. Syntax analysis extracts linguistic information, breaking up the given text into a series of sentences and tokens, generally based on word boundaries, providing further analysis on those tokens. It is performed with the analyze syntax method, which returns analyze syntax response. So now we're going to see syntax analysis. So this is tied to, as I said, a event which we had. We talked about natural language, and now we're now doing syntax analysis. copied. Then we'll go back to our what's here. Go back to cloud. Let's come back here to cloud shell. Remember when IPython and we're running this. So next we're going to put in our text because we are now doing a syntax analysis. And we should see a result like this. Remember we did syntax analysis. Now we're doing syntax analysis. So let's put it in. Let's run it. So to run is Control Enter and Command Return on Mac. So now we analyze 20 tokens from 20 sentences. So if we look at here, we can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we used the 17 words to give us 20 tokens. So from 2 sentences. So we have this was the first sentence and the second sentence. So you can see it's you can see how it's putting the token voice, the lemma, the tag, case, the gender. So you can see here he's masculine gender. It's in the mood. Here's indicative. We see number, singular, person, third person, proper. And we have tense, present tense, past tense. Was the past tense, born is the past tense, is it's a present tense, known is past tense. So it has done the syntax analysis for us. So if we dive deeper into this response set, we'll find the relationship between the tokens. Here's a visual interpretation showing the complete syntax analysis for this example. So a screenshot from the online natural language demo. So let's see what Google has. So this natural language AI. So see it here, natural language API demo. It's still loading. So you're seeing we'll still come back to natural language API links here. So let's come back here. So you can see the dependency arrows. So the lines, we have the pass label in orange, we have the part of speech in red. So now, we have the Emma in purple and the morphology in blue. So for more information, you can look at all this. So let's just open it down for links. So these links will be put in the video. So you can have one-way access to them. So now we're doing content classification. So that's the next thing we're doing, content classification. So let's copy the code. And content classification analyzes the document and returns a list of content categories that apply to text found in documents. It's performed with the classified text method, which returns a classified text response. So let's go into the cloud and get close to it. Remember, we're still in IPython. Run this. So this is our text for analysis. So we should get something of this nature for content classification. So it's automatic. So remember, we're running this on the language service client. So let's do this. Let's see. You can see text analyzed. You have category, computers, electronics, programming, confidence 99%. Category, science, computer science, confidence 99%. So these are links to materials on content classification and language support. The next we're doing text moderation. Now, text moderation is powered by Google's PALM 2 foundation model. Text moderation identifies a wide range of harmful content, including hate speech, bullying, sexual harassment, and is performed with the moderate text method, which returns a moderate text response. So I think this is the second time we're coming across this. So where we had a session at Collab Innovation Hub Kaduna, and we told it to moderate our responses. So and this was what we used, moderate text response. So let's go to close. First of all, let's break in our text analysis. I'll get an output like this. So let's do that. Let's run it. So you can see text analyze. I have read releases by James Joyce. I'm a little over halfway through it and I hate it with a pile of garbage. So you can see category toxic 7%, insult 58%, violence, religion and belief, politics. So what's low here is one conflict, public safety, sexual. So has given us the moderate responses for and the category and confidence for text moderation. So here are the links for moderating text and UI. So in this step, we're able to perform text moderation. Now, we learned how to use natural language API using Python. To clean out our environment from Cloud Shell, if session, we go back and type in exit, stop using the Python environment, we say deactivate. So these are the steps we take. To delete our environment folder, we have is that change directory, remove, ref, virtual environment language. So this is the cloud project, which we don't do because we're still using it. We type in this, make sure the project is what we want to delete project. But for cloud users who are using free, it takes 30 days to delete. So don't try this if you know you still need the project for the next 30 days. So test the demo in your browser. So we can test the demo in the browser. So let's see. First, let's type in exit. Second, exit before we deactivate. Oh, I hope there isn't a conflict. It's going. So let's type in our exit. So remember, Cloud Shell has this thing where once you open it on a different tab, it transfers itself to a different tab. I want to see how we can exit this. I don't know why it's with. Let's see. Okay, so I think the exit has completed. So to leave our virtual environment, let's deactivate. Network seems a bit slow, but so Remember, this is not on the local device, this is in the cloud. So trying to deactivate this. So I can end this after the video, so you can try it out on your own. So let's since we've come to the end of the code lab, I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.